eggs in soup?
Yeah.
Why?
Are you someone that enjoys cooking?
No, I absolutely hate it. Well, it's quite difficult to write a list of things that you like. And mine came out as a 5-year-old's birthday party shopping list.
Thinking I might need to burn a lot of my stuff, you know. That's all.
Set the house on fire
Emails.
and yeah. Microwaved pizza. Feels pretty happening in 89. Favourite herb?
Oh, can't be doing with herbs.
No, sorry, no herbs. Oh, hello, and welcome to Dish from Waitrose. I'm Nick Grimshaw.
And I'm Angela Hartnett.
And today on Dish, we are going to be joined by Keeley Hawes. Now, Keeley Hawes, I feel, is one of those actors that everyone is very obsessed with.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think she's hugely admired by
Yes.
her peers.
Yes.
And by the general public.
I agree.
And she's slightly mysterious.
She is. I spoke to my mum on the way here today. My mum was saying, who have you got on Dish? And I said, Keeley Hawes. And she was like, love her.
Oh, intake of breath.
Mish said the same. There's a bit of a, about Keeley Hawes. Because she's been in some of the most sort of celebrated and loved TV shows. And in a lot of TV shows that cross over from just being on the telly to like talked about moments.
Yeah, totally.
It's a Sin.
Yeah.
Spooks. Line of Duty. Scoop.
Yeah.
The Durrells.
Yeah.
The Bodyguard.
She's been in so much.
Yeah,
She's so
good,
much.
Good
yeah.
shows that everyone talks about and loves. Have you met Keeley Hawes before?
Never. I've admired her for many years because I
Yes.
was obsessed with spooks. But then I think, I don't know whether I told her husband, I don't know whether I told Matthew. I saw them both at Chelsea Flower Show a few years
So she's
back.
married to. So she's married to Matthew Macfadyen.
Yeah, and I saw them both, and Neil was there. And he goes, hello. I said, I can't, I'm too embarrassed. Because at the time, Matthew was in Succession. And I think Line of Duty had just finished that final series, even though she was in series 2 or 3. You know, but they're huge, you know, massive fans. But,
Big shows.
So I'm very excited to meet her. And her husband was lovely. We had Matthew on, and he was incredible.
He was great.
Yeah.
So have you ever done that? So you saw them at Chelsea. Have you ever seen someone off the telly and actually gone over and said, I love your work? Because it's a funny thing, because you want to say like, if you are a massive fan of someone, it's nice to say, I love you because of
And you
this.
don't actually, because I imagine lots of people go, oh, you were... And I actually did that the other day. So Andrew Scott, who was in Fleabag,
Yes.
and has been and in Sherlock, and been in incredible things. And it's been raining a lot recently. So I was cycling down the road and looking ahead, and I thought, that guy looks familiar. And
You're
then
like, that's the hot priest.
I thought that, and I think he might have been hailing for a taxi, he had a hoodie on and everything. And I cycled past him, and he was sort of looking like past me, but saw me. Not saw me, but could see me. And I went, you're a great actor, love your work, and carried on cycling.
Oh, I love that. That probably really picked up his day.
Exactly. That's
Really
it.
love your
That's
work.
it. Love your work. No,
Great
he's
actor.
brilliant though.
He is.
Yeah, so good. We need him on here.
We
Come
do.
on.
We need him. We need him on here. Right, let's get Keeley Hawes in for some ragù. How are you?
Lovely to see you. Welcome. Come and sit
Welcome.
down. Join our
Thanks for
table.
having
Some
me.
crumbs.
Lovely.
Some crumbs. Nice crumbs. Chefy crumbs.
Chefy crumbs.
Yeah.
Come through,
Come
Keeley.
sit down.
There you go. You're over that side.
Great cardigan.
Thank you very
I know,
much.
she's
Really good.
fabulous. You do
Can I just say, I've never done a
fabulous.
podcast.
What?
Have you not?
No.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm a bit, of a newbie at the old
Okay.
podcast.
Well,
so
welcome.
We feel
I've
very
done an
honoured
interview.
that
We do
you've
feel
chosen
honoured.
us. Thank
Well,
you.
yeah. My husband said you were okay, so here I am.
Okay, time to welcome to Dish this week the one and only Keeley Hawes, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
How are you?
I'm really good.
Yes.
I'm really good, yes.
This is your first podcast.
This is my first podcast.
Oh my God, we're
Yes.
very honoured.
We are honoured.
And you look beautiful. We love the cardigan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, fantastic
fabulous.
cardigan. Congratulations
I've
on
sort
that.
of steered away from podcasts, partly because, I love listening to podcasts,
Yeah.
but quite often they can be really personal. And it sort of sounds to me often like people are, like they've done an hour of therapy and then they've put it on the internet.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah.
And that's not something that I would
to do.
be
Like, no
keen
for
on
that.
participating in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we don't want to come off as like obsessed or anything. But on top of the research, we of course have heard from your wonderful husband.
Oh, yes.
We know a lot about you because when he came on, he really told us everything about you.
Did he?
Oh my God, he is such a goss. No, he didn't really. He didn't.
was very
But
discreet, very
he, of course, did tell us something brilliant, and that is to do with this sandwich
Yes.
right in front of us now. Keeley, do you want to describe what's in this? Because it got quite the gas when Matthew went through this.
I know. I didn't think it was that weird, really. I mean, people do eat strange things, don't they? On their own, in their own kitchens.
Yes.
But I mean, it's basically a chicken salad sandwich.
Right.
I'm very excited about eating it.
It's not
Really?
that weird,
Yes,
is it?
Okay.
It's chicken with some lettuce leaves and a few condiments.
Which condiments? Because you're both skirting around it. You're both skirting around it. You're like, and some things.
Things. I think it's the cream cheese that throws people a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And
cream cheese
Branston
and
pickle.
Branston pickle and mayonnaise and chicken and iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
And a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
And
Well,
butter.
and butter.
Quite a lot of butter.
It's a sauce sandwich. Yeah. Chicken is the
A
condiment.
chicken sauce sandwich.
So when would you have this, Keeley? What time of day? Is this like after work? Is this for the kids' lunch?
Oh,
Like,
this
when
is
are you having
any
it?
sort of
Any,
time.
okay.
Yeah, the kids wouldn't eat this sandwich.
No, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, it's very much my sandwich.
That's
Keeling
you.
alone in the kitchen.
That's you.
3 a.m. sandwich.
Keeley, should we do the honours?
Shall we?
Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You take some. Also, we should say prepared
Thank you.
by our two chefs today, Angela Hartnett and
Keeley Hawes.
Well,
Yeah.
I just sort of pointed at things, really. It
Yeah.
was, it was
Oh my
Angela.
God,
Thank you very
Angela.
much.
Wow, would this be something that you'd be putting on the Murano menu, do you think?
Maybe not Murano, but
No.
I'll certainly be eating it at home. But this, I love a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I tell you why I like this more than for the reason alone. There's no tomato in it. I hate
No, I don't like
tomato
tomato in it. No.
I'm with
Wet.
you.
In a sandwich, wet.
Yeah.
Whereas those 12 condiments are not wet.
So we're going in for the
But
Keeley Hawes
tomatoes,
special.
no.
Yeah.
I agree.
Which is
Yeah.
chicken, iceberg lettuce, butter, mayonnaise, cream cheese, and Branston
Some
pickle.
pickle. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
It's not wet because you toast the bread slightly.
It's not wet, is it?
No.
Not wet.
I'm with you.
Could be wetter, actually. I like it. It's a bit Big Mac-y.
Yes, it is a bit
It's the
Big
sweetness
Mac-y.
of the pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the pickle is what makes it. I
Yeah,
think it's that
me too.
sweetness, lifts
Yeah.
it, yeah. I think I overdid it on the butter. I think I went a bit heavy-handed
quite
on the
buttery.
butter. But, you know, Keeley sort of looked at it, but she's very polite. I could tell. She was like, how
it's
much
good.
butter?
I don't think you can ever have too much
Yeah.
butter, really, in a dish, but yeah.
But Keeley
I like
was
it,
Not
Keeley.
terrible, is it? I mean,
Matthew
you're still
was
going.
not on board with it, but
very
No.
disdainful.
I'm on your side. I'm into this. Your loves list is really
I was really
fantastic.
worried about my loves list.
Why?
I was like, well, it's quite difficult to write a list of things that you like. When you actually sit down and write a list, you're like, what do I like? And mine came out as a sort of 5-year-old's birthday party shopping list. And I thought, this does not look in any way sophisticated.
Yes.
I'm not very sophisticated in my tastes.
Well,
I think it works.
there's highs and
a lot
lows.
of things on there.
Yeah, there's highs and lows. Yes, it ranges from like pasta and beef to Jolly Ranchers.
Yes, Jolly Ranchers.
I
I love Jolly
love
Ranchers.
Jolly Rancher.
Oh my God, they're so hard
I
to
don't
come
think I've
by.
had a Jolly Rancher for years.
What is that? Sorry, I don't even know what a Jolly Rancher is.
Jolly Ranchers for a moment in time were it. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
it's
what
still a
are
moment.
they?
Still having
Still
a
for you,
moment.
you're like,
Oh
they're
yeah,
still good.
yeah. They're like gummy, like sours.
They're sweets.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
sweet,
okay, right.
Yummy.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like they were really like in around the time of like Tamagotchis, Jolly Ranchers, like mid 90s. I felt like they were on. So
Okay.
Jolly Ranchers,
Yeah.
pasta, beef, pickles, cheese, marmite, jam, Tabasco, Welsh rabbit, smoked taramasalata from Pinnies.
Yes,
Yeah.
pennies.
It's this
yeah.
beautiful, it's a smokehouse that's been in the family for, I think, 60, 70 years, maybe longer. They've got a lovely restaurant called Pinnies in Orford. And then they've got this fantastic little shop right by the quay. And you can get fresh fish, you can get smoked stuff, and there
Yes,
you go.
and the
all that.
taramasalata is smoked. So on a bit of toast with some butter.
On the
is
toast, you see.
excellent.
So we have your dislikes: octopus, lobster, bony fish. Explain all that to us.
Yeah, I'm not very fishy.
No.
Which
Okay.
makes me feel a bit.
Rice, you don't like rice.
I'm
Any
not. I
sort
don't
of
like. I
rice?
can't cook rice. I don't really care about rice. It's just taking up space on the plate. I just doesn't really taste of anything.
Yeah.
But everyone says invest in a rice cooker.
Yes.
Which I don't have, but I may invest in one now. Because then you know you're guaranteed great rice.
Yeah, or you're guaranteed great rice if you just get one of those 2-minute packets and do that and put it into the microwave every time.
Always good.
That's true.
Every
Always
time.
good.
And a bit of butter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of
yeah.
butter.
I like rice and
That'd
butter,
do- yeah,
actually.
same,
That's
for
very
sure.
nice. And what's this last one? Brackish soups. What is that?
Brackish.
That's a new one on me.
Brackish soups are, I suppose it would be like a sort of brothy soup with, like a miso soup. It's like bits and pieces.
Right.
Okay. I like
Bits.
that.
Yeah, so like a ramen, not for you.
No,
No,
not for you.
Eggs in soup?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay,
love
no
this.
ramens.
No
No
ramen.
ramens. And then what about, aside from your hard likes and dislikes, are you someone that enjoys cooking?
No, I absolutely hate it. I cannot bear cooking.
Yeah.
Always not liked it.
Being married to someone like Matthew who really enjoys it. Matthew wakes up in the morning and the first thing out of his mouth will be, what should we have for dinner tonight? At like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. You know, but he will really invest time and really enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And after 20 years of somebody else doing it and, you know, preparing things and it happening for you, I think there's probably an element of that really, that I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And then when he's not there, I'm like that. Hence my well exactly
Sandwich, yeah.
So there is a lot of toast in my diet
Yeah.
because you can survive on bread, tuna, beans, cheese,
Of course.
tarum salata.
Yeah.
You know, it's an endless world.
Well,
of,
if you've got someone in-house who loves it, just don't bother.
No,
Don't bother.
no.
Mish, my boyfriend, he is the same, like, not interested in cooking. And I will do the exact same thing as Matthew, be eating breakfast and say, what should we have for dinner? He's like, I've not ate my breakfast yet.
No,
And I'm
not
like,
opened
"Well, we
my
need to
eyes
plan."
yet.
But he will be very good at cleaning. So the dream
Yeah,
duo.
I do like
Yeah,
to
you
clean.
do that, okay.
When I do try to cook something, or if I'm cooking something, occasionally I do cook something, he will be over the other side of the island like that.
Watching.
Ooh. Or if I'm
do
chopping
that.
something.
Yeah.
Ooh, like that every time I chop in it. And I am a bit clumsy and I do
And that's
I
quite
have
annoying
sliced
when
my
you're
and
a
it is
cook
quite
or not.
annoying.
It's not fair to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. So
You don't
it just
want,
becomes like, oh, you know, and I just say, well, you do it. I can't be bothered.
You do it. You do it.
I'm
You
like
do it.
that, though. If you want to do it better, do it. Right, I'm going to get you some food now.
Yeah.
More food.
More food.
Yeah.
More food.
I don't know, you can top the sandwich, Ange,
I
but
don't
we
think I
should
can.
try.
Yeah, I've never had it as a starter.
So we're going to have pasta.
Okay, I do
made
like
by
pasta.
Ange. We're going to get into that. Do you ever knock up a pasta? Because that's it's barely cooking. No, I mean, not when you...
No.
Not what you've done.
I didn't hear.
No,
don't
not what
worry.
you've done. No, but if I was making pasta at home, I'd like use pre-made pasta and then
I
maybe...
use pre-made pasta.
and then maybe a pre-made sauce. But you've gone to town today, Ange.
Yeah.
So would you make something like that or not even just pasta and pesto?
My daughter likes pasta and pesto,
Yes.
but my daughter's also a really good cook, Maggie.
that's good as well.
Yeah, and she's 20, so she'll often, keep me going when Matthew's away.
Look,
But she's also interested in cooking.
right, okay.
And as I said, I am not.
You're not.
So,
Don't force it.
no.
You know what I mean, don't force it. And
no.
what about growing up? Were you from a household that enjoyed to cook or enjoyed to have dinners?
See, I think that's part of the problem because I grew up really in the 80s. I was born in 1976, so I grew up during the 80s, and cooking wasn't a thing, was it, Angela? I mean, it just...
No, it wasn't. Well,
The
it wasn't
microwave
then.
came up,
Yeah.
the microwave was
Yeah.
a big thing, big sexy new thing in the
Like
kitchen.
ready meals were quite
Ready
sexy and
meals.
new.
So it was a bad time, really. Those sorts of that formative period where chicken Kiev balls
Yes.
were like all the rage.
Yeah.
And that's not cooking, is it?
No.
So there's a lot of grilling of things.
Yeah. French
and
bread
ting
pizza,
ting,
things
beans
like
or
that.
spaghetti,
Yeah.
ping, dinner's ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that didn't really help.
Yeah, because I was born like mid-80s and I was always quite excited about having something cooked in a microwave, like microchips.
Oh, yeah.
Felt like a bit more glamorous
Yes.
than my mum actually making a meal from scratch. I thought that was like quite boring.
Yeah.
But like a microwaved pizza, I'd be like,
Was
that's
quite
pretty cool.
sophisticated.
Yeah, like, feels pretty happening in 89.
Yeah, and
So
my mother was not a good cook.
Right.
On a Sunday, she would make a roast, but she would wake up at sort of 9 o'clock, put everything into the oven and onto the hob
At the same time.
at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and then get it out of the oven and off the hob at 1 o'clock and that was it.
Yeah.
So the greens and everything
Yeah.
had all been on since
Which
9
weren't
o'clock in the
greens
morning,
by then.
which weren't greens.
No.
And whatever poor little bird had been put in at 9 o'clock in the morning. So Matthew grew up with, in Indonesia a lot of the time and, surrounded by this amazing cooking and these tastes and, trying different things. And I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from that.
You've got a good match there. In
Perfect.
Matthew, absolutely
Did
perfect.
all right, didn't I?
Did you ever pretend earlier on that you were into it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I did.
You'd be like, oh,
'cause
yeah,
he was like, yeah, I like cooking. I was like, yeah, so do I. So I did. I pretended to cook him like a lamb, like a goulash or something. It's like, what can I do? And I just went and got this thing and heated it up. And then threw some things around the kitchen and turned the lights down really low. And he was saying, oh, and how did you make it? And I was like, oh, with some, had no idea. And he didn't find out about that, actually, for a long time.
Now. He's listening like, what?
Yeah, and then you're like, whatever, you do it.
The effort was there, sort
It
of.
was, well, yeah.
Nice intention.
Yes,
Nice
yes,
intention,
yes.
for sure. Right, the food is here, Angela.
We have a slow-cooked beef rib ragù, and we're serving it with pappardelle, finished with a bit of parmesan, and our favourite for all our wonderful favourite actresses, a little bit of pangrattato.
Ooh,
So
it's
a little bit of
special.
crunchy breadcrumbs on top.
So the pangrattata is crunchy breadcrumbs.
Basically, yeah. So it's one of those things in Italy. It's all old bread. They, either crumble it down and then they put it with a touch of garlic or rosemary, or if you were putting it on fish, you might put some grated lemon. So it's like another form of seasoning. But I think when it's
it also
rich
gives it a
like
bit of
this,
texture.
yeah, a little bit of crunch. And I like it now on pastas a lot, you see.
I really like it,
I think
yeah.
it's a good thing.
So talk to us about this if we wanted to make this at home.
Take your ribs of beef. You can either buy them whole on, a whole piece and then cut them into the ribs, or you have them bought from the ribs. Put them in a little bit of flour because that will help thicken the sauce, and then you colour them in oil and butter in a pan. Remove them from the pan once they're nice and coloured. Then you have your veg, which is carrot, celery, onion, touch of garlic, some rosemary, and then sauté that all off so it's nicely coloured, caramelisation of your veg. Add your ribs back into the pan, add tin of plum tomatoes, some red wine, and then top it up with a little bit of water to make sure all the ribs are submerged in liquid. And
But
then
not brackish.
Not
brackish.
Not brackish.
For the love of God,
We
no.
would not be doing
No,
that.
no.
And then cook them for about 3.5 to 4 hours.
Wow.
And then you can have them. You just basically remove the bone out, take any excess sinew from the rib, and then serve them whole on some mashed potato or with cabbage or some polenta. But we've just broken them down a bit more, mashed the veg in the sauce, and then mixed all that with the pasta.
That's delicious.
It's delicious. What is a ragù compared to like just a sauce?
Ragù's just an Italian name for a sauce, really.
And the hidden veg is very good.
Yeah, well, it thickens the sauce and it adds the sort of texture to it, I think.
It's really delicious. And then what do you do with the bones afterwards? Can you use them for...
Well, because we cooked a chicken for Keeley's sandwich earlier, we've got chicken bones and beef bones. I take them all home and make a nice stock. Because you've still got a little bit of the meat as well and the fat. I would cover it all with cold water, cook it for another 45 minutes, and then drain that. And then you've got a base of a lovely stock if you ever need it. Stick it in the freezer.
Amazing.
And you made this pasta fresh for Keeley.
Did you?
Yes, just for you, Keeley.
Wow.
Didn't do that for Matthew. Not
No.
bothered about him.
So the team have filmed your method. So you can watch this. There'll be a video
Yes.
if you want to make your own pasta. How hard and how much of a faff is making the pasta? Because to me, it seems sort of like this gargantuan task, like making
I like
pasta.
the look of it.
Love
I
the look
like
of it.
the sort of...
Make a small amount, 200 grams. There's 2 eggs, 200 grams of flour. It's an easy amount to make. I think you could manage it. It is actually easy to do, I think. And I find it very therapeutic. You wouldn't put spaghetti with a ragù like this. You need pappardelle or tagliatelle. So you can buy it, but I think fresh is really great in this situation.
Okay. Keeley?
Yeah, that is
Would you give
excellent.
that a go? You can be honest.
No.
He's like, yeah, but no, not
Buy
going to
Matthew a pasta machine.
Not gonna
I
happen. Yeah. If you want to try this, which is really delicious. Go on waitrose.com/dish recipes to get the full recipe. There's going to be a video as well on how to make the pasta. I like a video. Helps.
Yes, we do.
There's a wine pairing. What pairs perfectly with a ragù, Ange?
We have a Primitivo. It's ripe blackberry fruit with sweet bacon spices. This is from Puglia. Bacon spices. But actually, no, but you say that. Lots of the richer wines, you have that little smoky bacon sort of meaty flavour.
Proper frazzle in it.
Yeah, proper frazzle. It's from Puglia and it's full-bodied and it really pairs well with this ragù.
Oh, delicious, Ange. Can we talk about the career of Keeley Hawes, please?
Oh, my gosh.
Talk me through where it all began. Like, when did you first fall in love with the idea of acting? Was there a role that you watched on telly? Was there a film? Was something that inspired you?
Well, I was at primary school. I grew up very centrally in London. And I was playing the part of the Pied Piper.
Okay.
I was really enjoying it. And my teacher at my primary school said to my parents, she's really loves it, and I was encouraged in that. And then the school that I went to when I was 9 moved premises from Covent Garden to almost directly opposite my house in Marylebone. So it was a sort of, otherwise, I don't think I would have known that such a thing existed.
Right.
This is pre-X Factor, pre-Fame, or, that sort of came a bit later. But it was that reason, really. I could hear them sort of singing and saw the sign up outside and said, actually, I'd like to go there. Yeah. And I auditioned and I was helped with a grant and I went.
So it was geography.
It was kind of geography.
Yeah.
It really was just a stroke of luck.
Wow.
It wouldn't have come into my orbit at all that there was something like a school like that.
As well.
Actually, and my teacher, my first teacher.
And were your family supportive? Were they into the idea of it?
They were. I think they were sort of quite tickled by it. It was very unusual. My dad was a black cab driver. He's not with us anymore. And there certainly wasn't anybody in my family who had done anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I started working. I went when I was 9 and I left when I was 16. And while I was there, I did TV shows and theatre and lots of commercials and things. So got lots of experience there. And then... that was that. I've never really done anything. I've never known anything else, really.
Right, yeah.
Really. I was a model briefly, which was fun. I then went back in and got a part in something called Karaoke, which was Dennis Potter's last work.
Was it?
So luckily I was opposite Richard E. Grant.
Okay.
So thank God, because I was just this little sort of, I think I was 19 or 20 and very green. And actually most of my stuff was with Richard, who was absolutely delightful.
Yeah.
And I got a memory of him sort of we'd be going from set back to base to get our costumes off, and he would be taking off his clothes on the way so that he could get out of the car and get back to read his daughter Olivia a bedtime story.
Oh.
He was very, he was just a gorgeous man.
Yeah.
And
that's a good person on like your first job. A great
amazing,
person.
Yeah,
amazing,
exactly.
amazing.
And he came in here and he was so infectious and such like great energy and also brilliantly mad as well. Like I love such a character.
Yes.
Loved
He
him
was
around.
nuts.
Yeah. He was nuts. But that's what you want.
He was sniffing us.
Yes.
Did he
that's what you
sniff
want.
then? He sniffed everything.
Yeah, he was into
sniffed up.
smell.
He's got a perfume. He's created a perfume, hasn't he? So maybe he's got a sort of...
Yeah, he was hysterical.
Thing going on,
He
yes.
was
Really
very...
was.
He was brilliant.
Now you have been in the list of shows. When I said you were on, everyone's like, oh. Everyone goes, oh, you get like a ripple of ooze, don't you? Yeah.
Well, there's so much.
You've been in like some of the biggest, most talked about and iconic British TV shows, truly.
Yeah.
From Spooks to Line of Duty, It's a Sin, The Bodyguard. Is it weird in the street when you're in a show like Line of Duty?
I think it changes in that people are very familiar with you. Yeah.
The thing is, people think they know you.
People immediately
And
think
I'm
they
sure
know you.
I don't
when you're in
And do people
their
think
living
you're your character as well?
People call me Mrs. Durrell a lot.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That would
people,
make
people
sense.
that is the thing that they call,
Yeah.
Mrs. Durrell. I mean, people sort of fall
Yeah.
back into rats
Yeah,
of clothes
yeah.
and things and go, it's Mrs. Durrell. Which I always find very, very flattering. People will will just come out with things like, "Oh, you're taller than that," you know, or you're, you know, bigger or smaller or whatever it might be the first thing that comes to their heads. Yeah, it's lovely actually to be part of. You know, Matthew had it more recently with Succession, but something like Bodyguard or like Line of Duty, where literally people are shouting things from vans and people, and you know, it becomes part of the culture for that week or whatever. It's really exciting. Yeah, it's really flattering and really
quite rare. I think those moments, like Succession, definitely one where it becomes part of culture. Yeah, for sure.
But it's also because the beauty, I think, and that's where, and Succession was the same. You couldn't binge it. I think that makes such a difference these days. So you have to tune in.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I love those moments like
it's
that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a binger. Can't sit down for like the day and watch hour after hour after hour.
No. Who has a day to sit down?
No.
You know.
Who?
Let's find out.
Who? Yeah. Also, we loved The Bodyguard. We were so obsessed with The Bodyguard.
Yeah, very good fun.
Really was.
Are you dead?
Yeah.
Got a lot of that. You really did. The reason everybody thought I was still alive was because actually in the script there was not a state funeral, but a big funeral because I was playing the Home Secretary. But then they didn't have the budget to shoot it. So if there had been more of a budget, there wouldn't have been that question about whether I was coming back. It was simply budget reasons.
Budget reasons. You're really recognised as an actor as opposed to a celebrity.
Yes,
and was that a conscious thing? Did you want to make sure you were about doing your job as an actor?
I think it's important, and it sort of feeds into, you know, I'm Miss Austen, and I found myself, while I've been doing the press, I play Cassandra Austen, who's the sister of Jane Austen, and she, after Jane's death, she went about and destroyed lots of Jane's personal correspondence. I think sort of 80% of it. I think there's about 100 letters left. And no one quite knows the reason. You know, our show is an imagining of what the reason might have been, but we believe that it was so that Jane's legacy was about her writing and her work, rather than her thoughts and feelings about, you know, neighbours or friends or family. And these days we are so used to knowing everyone's thoughts and feelings about everything. It's expected, you know, when you do an interview, people expect to talk about your family or talk about your...
Sure.
And I think it's kind of great when people don't give too much so that you can then, and we can then, watch those shows and not be thinking, oh, you know, their divorce has just gone through. So you're totally...
A bit of mystery.
Buy into what, you know, the character, you know, the story that the actor's trying to portray and the story that they're trying to tell. So it's quite difficult because I understand that, you know, you sort of have to talk about yourself. And it's interesting, and I love reading about other people. And I'm on Instagram.
Well, we all do, yeah.
And
but there's an element of it, you know, a bit of mystery is very useful in what we do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of course.
But people will, like, you know, like us, love you and then want to know everything about you. So people
of course.
And
I'm the same.
It must be a human thing where you're like, oh, I love them. I wonder what that's
curiosity,
like. The curiosity. But also I do think you're so right. In some actors I'll see on... They'll be really good at being on like Jimmy Fallon or on Graham Norton or something. And then when I watch them in a film, I'm like, that's that person from Graham Norton. And then that's all I can think of. Yeah, speaking of Miss Austen, I love this type of telly.
Oh, good.
Oh, I love this type of telly. Tell everyone when it's on.
Sunday nights in February, and it will all be on iPlayer.
And are you an Austen lover?
I wasn't, you know, a huge Austen fan. I've probably seen as much as anybody over the years. I mean, she has been adapted so many times, numerous times.
Sure.
And that was part of what was so appealing about this, is that it feels like an Austen. It feels like an extension of the Austen canon, but it's not a story anybody knows. Most people, I would say, do not know the story of the Austens themselves.
No. I never knew this story about the letter burning.
Yeah.
Is that a famous...
No, it's true.
No, I know it's true, but
Yeah.
did you know about that?
I didn't know about it, but it doesn't surprise me because I read Austen as a kid. You know, we studied it for O-level, A-level. And one of my best friends, Nicola, we always loved it. You know, we loved Emma and Pride and Prejudice and all of that. And she was very sarcastic. You know, she was, you know, quite mean. as a person, or in actually her writing. She made her characters quite mean.
Yeah.
If you look at Emma as a protagonist and stuff. So I imagine when she did write about her friends and her family and the vicar down the road, she could be quite, you know. So no wonder, to protect that legacy, I would, you know, thinking I might need to burn a lot of my stuff. You know, that's all.
Set the house on fire, and
And get a match now. Where's that phone? What are those things I said? Did I say that in that WhatsApp group? Oh, yeah.
But I think she had a lot of, I mean, sort of amazing foresight, really. It's over 200 years ago. It's 250th
and that's
anniversary.
how people communicated as well.
And that was how people communicated. But Cassandra could not possibly have known that social media was going to be in the, you know, and that was how, you know, or the internet or television, and she couldn't possibly have known that, you know, she was holding her sister's legacy.
I think that's brilliant she did that.
And
I do. I do. Keeley Hawes, we're going to do your fast food quiz.
Okay.
It's quick fire.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
What's your favourite way to eat eggs?
Scotch.
Scotch eggs.
That's a good way. We've never had that before.
Solid. Wrapped in meat.
Your favourite form of potato?
Eggs. I like potatoes. Roast.
Roast, yeah. Always
Roast, I
roast.
like.
Favourite herb?
Oh, can't be doing with herbs.
No, sorry, no herbs.
No, I
Herb
don't
free.
know. I could taste those herbs.
Yeah.
But usually, in they go and there's all...
Yeah,
Okay.
don't need
No
them.
herbs.
Favourite crisp? You're partaking of crisp?
Now, I do like crisps. I quite like ready salted dipped in mayonnaise.
Okay, yeah, I can like.
I really like... I really like a garage chipstick.
I love a
Salt and
chipstick.
vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Salt and
Yes.
vinegar. You know,
Yes.
the ones that
Nice.
really
Yeah.
take,
Love
like
a
nuclear.
chipstick.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite pasta?
Matthew makes a good sausage pasta.
Yeah, nice.
Great sausage pasta.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the favourite roast that Matthew makes?
I like I like turkey.
Oh, okay,
like
nice.
turkey
Yeah.
roast, yeah.
With all the trimmings and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't mind. I love a turkey actually.
What is your favourite sandwich filling?
Apart from my favourite sandwich
Yeah.
filling, which we have discussed
Yes,
already,
at length.
I quite like a cheese sandwich.
That's all right. I love a cheese sandwich. Love a cheese sandwich.
Sandwich.
Just
A
Like
classic.
white bread.
yeah.
Just butter and
Yeah.
cheese. A bit lightly toasted
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
lightly
Lightly
toasted.
toasted.
And
I think
pre-sliced cheese.
Yes.
Would you have mayonnaise in that?
Not a boo, a mild boo.
That was like a wave. Oh.
This is your end of show question.
So it's a question for you.
A question for you.
Oh, it's a question for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if you choose to answer it, the goodie bag shall
From
be yours
Waitrose
from
here
Waitrose.
for you to take home.
Is it full of Jolly Ranchers?
So
Frozen
many
bread.
Jolly
Next
Ranchers.
time.
So
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers.
Hi, Keeley. Thanks for coming in. You've made it to the end of the show and we haven't killed you off. Result.
That's true.
Looking at your creds, all signs point to you making an excellent 007.
Oh, yes, we do.
What would you say if Barbara Broccoli gave you the call? What would I say?
What would you say? Yeah. She's like, hey, Keeley, it's Barbara.
It's Barbara. I'd quite like to be M.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
so.
want to be James Bond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much room.
Too much work.
Yeah. A lot
I'd
of
be better
running.
to be the puppet master.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes and no.
Yes
Okay,
and no.
yes and
Correct
no,
answer.
yeah.
Well, the goodie
Brilliant.
bag is yours.
Oh,
Yes.
The goodie bag is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Keeley, thank you so much.
Thank
That
you
was
so
a lot of
much
fun.
Thank you
coming
so
on.
much.
You did your first podcast.
Yeah.
I did.
We're proud.
You've been a
did.
great
And we're happy.
sport. Thank you.
You're happy.
You've been
Thank you.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Keeley
Yeah,
Hawes,
thank
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for eating my sandwich as
We
well.
loved
Thank
your
you.
I love the
sandwich.
sandwich.
It's gonna be
Not bad.